Serving all of San Diego, this is your Fox 5 News.
So much to talk about. This is a talker. The United States is obviously a melting pot for culture, race, and ethnicities. So joining us this morning, cultural expert Sean Ray and lifestyle coach Lisa Haisha to discuss the difficulty of interracial dating in an age of profiling. Good morning to both of you, and thank you for being here. We already got started talking about this in the cultural break, or in the break, because I was telling you about my cultural background a little bit. And personally, I've seen a lot of difficulties when different races and different cultures, they try to get together and then start a marriage or start a relationship here in the United States. A lot of times it doesn't work. It's challenging.
I think it is challenging. I think I personally believe that everyone should be with whoever they fall in love with, but however, I do see a lot of differences. I come from a family where my father's from Iraq and my mother's, Southern. And there were differences. There's a lot of things you have to overcome compared to if you marry inside your own culture. But there's also a lot of beautiful gifts that come with marrying outside of your culture.
Well, we'll talk about some of the challenges and how maybe people can overcome them. Sean, where are you from?
I'm from Pakistan, and I'm from the Muslim world.
And you're from the Muslim world?
Yes.
And then you've been here in the United States?
Yes, for over 30 years.
For over 30 years. Yes. Some of the biggest challenges that you see, that people get together, they fall in love, but they come with different backgrounds, different beliefs, different religions. Why are there problems when it comes together? Why can't they just work it out?
Well, essentially human beings are very tribal in nature. I mean, coming from the Indian subcontinent, there happen to be 533 officially recognized tribes. And there happen to be over 22 languages in the Indian subcontinent and over 2,000 dialects. So people are very, very tribal, and that culture has been around for over 5,000 years. So there are those kinds of differences. I mean, forgetting even about dating, if you look at politics, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, people are always at loggerheads with each other and understanding how the world works.
Sure, but then you get into a relationship, because when you fall in love at the beginning, I tend to notice that people forget about those things. It's, it's okay, we'll figure it out. But they could pose to be a challenge. Religion, cultural things, they're challenging. So what can couples do? We'll start, Lisa, with you, and then we'll talk to you, Sean, to be able to overcome this.
Well, I think, first of all, before you really fall in love, you should try to figure out, can I live with someone from another culture?
Oh, you should do this even before.
Absolutely, because you fall in love just because, God, they're hot, or they're sweet, or they're smart, or they're prestigious in some way. And then once you get into it, you start to feel, wait, that's different. When you're actually living with someone who wants you to cook dinner every night, or do their laundry, or you're not allowed to go out with your friends, or you can't take a weekend vacation with your friends because it's outside of the culture.
Is that what you experienced, or you saw your mom maybe experience, or?
Yeah, my mom was someone who had to really stay home. She couldn't go take off for the weekend with her friends. She couldn't do anything like that. But I also represent a lot of clients that go through this. This is one of my specialties. And they're like, we're in love, but she wants to go out away for the weekend with her friends. And she needs to be home in bed next to me every night.
Yes.
And she needs to cook for me, clean for me. I'm working really hard. Who does she think she is? And she's like, I need a break once in a while.
Right. Which is culturally acceptable in a lot of different. Sean, do you say the same thing, that you should think about this before you get into it, or do you deal with this after you've initially had that chemistry with someone?
Well, I believe that the fact there's only one race as a human race, but I think that in any relationship, whether it's interracial or not, people need to sit down together and first maybe even talk to, once they fall in love, sit down with into like a relationship expert like Lisa is, and then sit down and say what each one's needs and wants are, and then figure out where both of you are going.
Well, in a lot of different cultures, you marry the family almost.
Oh yes.
And that's a huge thing. Yeah. You know that. Yes. And if you're just American and from a different culture, you marry the individual. So you have to also ask yourself, am I the person that can marry a family? Or not?
Here, speaking of family, this is where I see a lot of people have problems, and maybe you at home agree, is when children. Now you have a child, now you get over that, you say, hey, I can deal with it, but now there's kids. So how do you choose what religion, what background, what language? How do you do that with the children? Either one of you?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, my personal opinion is let the child choose. I think you should expose them to both. I have, again, several clients who do this. They introduce them. One of my close friends and clients are Jewish and Buddhist.
Okay.
So they're letting their kids experience both.
And then
whichever one they have an affinity for, they say, go in that direction.
Okay.
But neither one is fanatical. Some people are fanatical and say, I want it my religion.
Right.
I'm Jewish and my kids will be Jewish, or I'm, whatever it is, Muslim or Catholic and they really want their child to be that.
Sean, do you feel the same way?
Well, yes, but I think that there should be a little bit more from the parent side, because, you know, if you give something for a child to choose, it's okay, but if the child is 6 or 9 or 10, may not know. But if you expose the child, just like Lisa said, to these different religions or different ways of doing things, then by the time they're 18, they can, you know, be pretty good, have a knowledge as to what they
and that's what I'm saying. Like when they're older, they could choose, but at least if they're young, they could actually experience something and say, oh, this is what I have more an affinity for. Then you could help them in that direction.
Absolutely.
But that's if you're open-minded.
Sure, that's if you're open-minded. That's where the problems come about. Well, Sean and Lisa, thank you for coming here. By the way, I do want to let you know that Sean has a CD. It's called A World of Romance, and if you'd like to get a copy, you can go to our website, fox5sandiego.com, click the Scene on tab, and you can also learn much more from Lisa on there. Good to see you guys. Thank you. This conversation could go on and on and on, but I'm all about just talking about it, right? Just got to talk about it. Raul?
Thank you.
All right, good stuff, guys. Thank you very much.